Hi guys to everyone. I'm Ada from PoisonedRock, and here to me there is Jessica. Today we have Ben from ENDSEEKER. Hi Ben, first of all, how are you?
Hey, yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
We're a little bit confused, but we did it in the end. But we are good. We can complain. We can complain. It's an honor to have you here finally. So I want to go straight with the first question. That is how Ben Seeker born. So let's speak about the beginning of Ben Seeker, how the band get together, and of course introducing the current lineup because there are other people in the band, of course. So
Yep, they are.
great.
Yeah, well, so actually, I was the last guy to enter the band. Like,
Really?
the band was already complete when I came to it. And I knew the guys from before. With
Mhm.
I got our bass player. I had a band before, and all the other guys. I knew that they were around because it's like the local music scene in Hamburg.
Yeah.
So we roughly knew each other. And one day I got a call from Eggert, and he asked me like, "Wow, I have a new band, and we need a new we need a second guitar player." I was like, "Oh yeah, can you send me some demos?" And he sent it over, and I was like blown away. It was like, "Oh my god, this is really really
Really
good.
good.
I
Yeah,
need
of
to be
course.
part of this." And then I auditioned, and yeah, they took me,
And
and the rest is history. So it's yeah, it's awesome.
that's amazing. And basically, so you joined the band so in around 2014, basically.
What was 2015,
So
2015, I think it was. Yeah,
so
something like that.
it was before the first full length release. So basically, the formation has been the same for all this time, and
Yes,
this is great. This is great actually. So um, I want to speak. I wanted to speak about the first EP because it's the
yes.
beginning, corrosive revelation. So because the beginnings were, you bring the first rough material. So what about that? The first, we can say, rough influences you
Well,
had, and how it
well,
was the mastering and the precision of maiden, because of course it's the rough material.
yeah, absolutely. Like, as I said, when I entered the band already existed, and actually all the songs that are on the Corrosive Revelation EP already
Yeah,
existed, and they were also recorded, and it was planned to be some kind of demo. We just wanted to have a little demo that we can send around, and like
yeah, of
for
course.
people to listen to some stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Somehow, like, different labels got a hold of this demo and contacted us, and one was FDA Records, and they offered us a deal straight away.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah, we haven't had played a single show. We never played live. Nothing. We got signed
They
before
just
that.
basically were interested from the demo
Right.
without even, yeah, because usually you get signed, not me, it could happen when you are the CEO on some live shows on the stage, and then you got signed. But then it happens to you the opposite, like they were completely like stunning from the EP. So that's
Right.
cool.
And that was already the first release then. So there was no re-recording. We just put out the demo as an EP, and
And
because sound quality was pretty cool, I think it sounded rough and dirty and gnarly as we like it. And yeah, it took off from there, and it was like it had a pretty big impact for us, like being
that's great.
a really small band without any shows. And like, I don't know, as soon as we put out the EP, like things were coming together, and shows were popping up,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So, and from then, there was the first full length in 2017, Fleshhammer Prophecy.
Right.
So, how it born, and there is a specific topic in this album. How much it changed from the first EP? Something changed. It was more, we can say, less tough, rough, and more, like with some perfectionism in the. I don't know, in the riffs. I mean, what is changed? Because of course, 2 years passed by. So
Yeah, well, we started writing the first songs for Flash Armor Prophecy after the
Yeah.
EP was out, and we were like playing more live, and we needed more songs to fill our
Okay.
live set because, like, when you have just 25 minutes of music, it's pretty hard to play
Yeah.
live shows. So
Yeah.
we
Yes.
needed more songs,
Yeah.
and we hurried up to write some songs. And as soon as we got enough songs for an album together, we went into studio and recorded it. And of course, the recording was different compared to the demo
The
because
demo. Yeah.
we were like the demo recordings were intended to be a demo, but this was intended to be an album, so we took a little more time and yeah, took a little bit more care of it. And yeah, I still love the record, and it was our first long player.
Yeah.
And
It's like your first baby, like something like that.
yes, and it was like the first record that I was a part of the recording and writing process. So
Yeah.
as I said,
So
like,
you feel more close to that. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
yeah,
And
like until we released Flesh and Prophecy, I was just a fan of the band playing in the
yeah.
band. But then I was a real part of the band, so that's a little bit how it felt for me.
Yeah, because you felt it inside completely, so you can
Yeah.
say I'm there. And from then there is the Harvest, the second one, and then we have the last one
Right.
that is been released this year in 2021. 2021. I was speaking like some Paul, like Mount Carcass. Basically, it's true. These are Poland people. Polish people speak. 2021. Okay, so basically they were. How can I say? This album is having a really good reviews because I just Google randomly, and I really like it in my opinion. But of course, you want to know what other webzine or magazine or even fun, and I think that's really um, kicking the ass of in the metal scene right now. So, what about Mount Carcass, the last one?
Yeah, well, as you said, like the feedback from the press and from the fans, whatever, was
Yeah,
overwhelming. It was really, really good.
yeah,
And of course, we love the record because we made it. I mean, like, we love all our records, and you always love the newest one the most. But I really think this one is a little different than the other ones before. It's a little straighter, maybe a little more simple and on point. Uh,
yes, of course.
and yeah, it was great to have such a good feedback from all over the world. I mean, like, we had so many interviews with like South America and
Yeah,
United States and UK and wherever, just it kept coming in from all over the world, and that was great. When you just see that your music
it's going to
is going
be all.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's
They're
going
like
to be. Yeah,
people at the end of the world outside of Europe, listening
and
to
if you
your
notice,
shit.
and I think you notice because of course you are a musician, I'm not. That fans from South America are completely the craziest and the most passionate. That's what I saw all the because I have a lot of people. Oh, can you interview that band? Can you interview that band? The one that shared most. They are making some more noise at the gigs. So it's amazing these things, and
Unfortunately, we haven't been to South America yet. We didn't play there yet, but we really hope that
yet,
it's coming at
yet,
one point.
yet
Yeah. I mean, as soon as this COVID thing is
we will
kind
go
of
to.
over, we would like to go back on the road and also expand our radius and play more outside of
Yeah,
Germany, like Europe first, but also like outside of Europe. That would be
yeah,
great.
of course, of course. But
And
just
as
because
far as I have heard from other bands and other people, is like, yeah, the people in South America are absolutely
insane. Yeah,
crazy when it comes to
yeah,
live shows and
yeah. I
stuff. And
know.
I really want to see that. I want to
Yeah,
be part of
but
that.
before I'm going to speak about some lives or something else, I want just to ask you, of course, also about the different because it's been like I don't know, 6 years, something like that, from the EP until the last album. So, which is the main difference you see from the first EP until the last album?
Like,
Like, for example, the mastering, the composition, the artwork of the album, everything. The topic. I don't know
I mean,
everything.
we don't have, okay, like the last on the last record on Mount Carcass, there are like two or three more political kind of songs, more like
Okay.
social criticism, whatever. But
Okay.
the writing process of Mount Carcass was different than to
Okay.
compared to the other albums because we were like isolated from the outside world because of the pandemic.
Oh
So we
yeah.
were like locked
I
inside
know.
our
I
homes,
know. I know.
and that was the first time that we were able to write songs without having any live shows interrupting us. So we like were like
It was
focusing
like, yeah,
just on songwriting for half a year. um, that was new, that was different. So, and we took more time for the pre-production, producing the demos before we went into studio, which was great. It was great experience, was a lot of fun, and I think we continue working like that in the future. And the other, well, the other albums, they were more, the demos were more rough before we went
yeah,
into studio, and the
of course.
vocals were not as worked out like on Mount Carcass. I think this is probably the main difference. But besides that, like when it comes to the band members, you know, everything's still the same. So we have like a great chemistry in the band. We have a great
Yeah,
relationship, and
especially because you kept mostly the same lineup. So this
absolutely,
adds a lot. So you became like a family of friends that together have fun. So you knew each other is an important thing. But
yeah.
if you have, for example, if you have want to suggest a song, I want to go more specific to the newbie fan or the people that still didn't know about Endseeker. Which song you would advise to see? Look, listen that song, and you will find maybe you will go on to dig to us.
Um, that's
Yeah,
a
it's
tough
not.
one. I mean,
Yeah, there will be other
you know,
tough
of
ones.
course, I have my favorite songs.
You can say your favorite as well. It's not a
But
problem.
I don't know if these favorite songs are the best ones to listen for someone who doesn't know us. But you know, from I think my favorite song on Mount Carcass is "Merciless Tide," the second one,
Okay.
because I think it has a great groove, and it's yeah, I just love this song. And also like the birth of this song was a little
Yeah.
different than the others, because we really jammed in the rehearsal room and created the most part of the song. And this is something that we usually don't do. Normally, like we're working on stuff at home and
Yeah,
then bring it to the
of course.
rehearsal
Yeah,
room
yeah,
and
of
work it out.
course.
But this was really like jamming, like back in the
So,
days, and
so
that was
it's born like from spontaneous or being all together, meaning.
right, right. So
Yeah,
that's this is something that makes this song special.
yes, of course.
But I mean, like I don't know. I love all our songs.
So you can just say, listen to the last album and then dig into the hour past, like something
Yeah,
like that.
probably
Yeah,
probably that would be a
yeah.
good choice. Yeah.
And speaking about lives, there was some. This is a question that I usually do at the end, but I'm just mixing a little bit. There's been some live show that you did in the past. It could be with the Endseeker or even other bands you had that you kind of, you can say, you remind mostly or you had mostly fun with. And maybe you want to share some memories of. Could be even not only just lives, even just or maybe funny moments with the bands, even in rehearsal room. Something just fun about Endseeker.
Like fun with different with other bands that we play with, or what?
You
I
can say
mean,
both. You can say
I'm
just, for example, a live funny moments, or with some other bands, or some funny moments with their Seeker.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, you know. Like there's some stuff that I cannot talk about on camera, of
Of
course,
course,
but
of course, of course.
there's a lot of stuff. Like it starts with our first ever live show back in 2015 or
Hmm.
whenever it was. I think it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks before the show, our drummer broke his ankle
Oh my
on a
god.
festival. I don't know. He slipped and he broke his ankle, and we were like, "Oh man, you know, we have our first
Well,
show coming up." And he went to the doctor, and they tried to fix that and whatever. And he asked, "Oh, I have to play a show, and I'm a drummer, you know, double bass and all this stuff.
yeah.
Am I able to play?" And the doctor said, "You know, just take duct tape and like wrap it around that foot real tight
I,
until it does
okay.
not hurt anymore. And when you feel no pain, then you can play." And that's what we did. So we taped up his foot before the show, and we went on stage and we played the show, and it was a great show. Like the club was packed and it was awesome, and we had
That's
we had lots of
amazing.
fun. But he played with a broken foot. That was our first live show.
If now, if you want to, for example, put and seeker, we can say I don't like always to label a band, because you can be death metal, but having some influences from that or this other type of subgenre. But if you put a label, like, for example, in the genre, if you want to give your personal, you can say, label to the Endseeker, which will it be? Could be even adjective. It doesn't have to be for that metal. It could be just whatever you want.
But it's just straight death metal, you know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like all those little sub labels, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
on the little tweaks in death metal. It's
Yeah.
all just death metal, you know.
Yeah. And speak about, of course, now that metal. I want to know influences first of Endseeker. So, which are the musical influences of Endseeker?
Of course, we're heavily influenced by the Swedish death metal scene. So
Okay.
speaking of Entombed, Dismember, Grave, At the Gates, you know, all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But also like bands from other areas like Bolt Thrower, Morbid
Bolt
Angel,
thrower. Yeah.
um, Carcass, Cannibal Corpse. You know, like we take influences from everywhere. You know, all the stuff that we listen to influences us in our
Yeah.
songwriting. That's just a natural progress, and but
Yeah.
like
Of
we
course.
always try to keep it in that Swedish kind of sound.
Yeah. Of course. And speaking about your personal influences,
My
that could
personal
be, yeah, first as human being, so like person, and for that I want you to pick 5 albums, and then as guitar player. So which are your guitar hero? We can say like that.
okay,
Okay,
5 records.
it's tough, but
Yeah,
we
that's
can do
really
that.
tough. That's really tough.
We
Okay,
can do that.
the first record that I pick has to be a Metallica record because
Metallica always there.
that was the band that brought me into metal, like
Into metal. Yeah.
back in the 80s actually, because I'm an old guy, and
Don't think that I'm young and as well. So,
well, your beard is not as gray as mine, you know.
but maybe there is some weather over there.
Okay, all right. Um, I think for Metallica, I go with Master of Puppets,
Okay.
because it's just a game-changing, brilliant album. I love it. Next up is Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. Absolutely
Masterpiece.
love Pantera, and when I first heard that record, I was absolutely blown away. It was
Yeah,
such a killer.
of course. I mean,
Then we have I absolutely love the Hollow Man EP from Entombed.
I'm
I
too
think this is my favorite record from Entombed.
yeah, such a great band with such a great singer. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Machine Head, Burn My Eyes, also one of my absolute favorite albums. I
Yeah.
really love the first Machine Head album for the roughness and the Slayer influences that you can really hear in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, of
And
course.
they lost it like over the
In the
years,
years.
but on that record, it's so angry and so
Yeah.
raw. I really like it, and the production is still absolutely crushing. And yeah, and speaking of Slayer, of course, Slayer is a huge influence, and
Slayer is like the king
yeah,
of.
and it's hard to pick an album. Like I always, I cannot decide between South of Heaven and Seasons in the Abyss. Well, those are my two favorite
Yeah.
Slayer
I'm,
albums.
I'm about your guitar hero, we can say. If there was some guitarist maybe that could influence you through during all your, I don't know, teenage era, or maybe that could push you to play guitar.
Yeah, it was definitely James Hetfield. As I said, that
James
was the
Hetfield,
band that
yes.
brought me into metal, and I
Yeah.
put up the posters on my wall in my kid's room, and I I was looking at those pictures and I was like, I want to be like those guys, you know. I want to have like a Flying V or an Explorer or whatever, and play
Yeah.
guitar. And so I asked my parents for guitar lessons, and
Yeah.
they got me some guitar lessons. So that was how it started. But then, of course, Dimebag is a huge influence. I absolutely love his style and his tone and his riffs. Also, the simplicity in his riffs, which contains so much power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
for sure.
that stuff. Yeah, Slayer riffs, of course, like King and Hanneman, also a huge influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But I never, I never really went into all the solo kind of stuff. I was more the riff guy. I wanted
Yeah.
to play the heavy riffs. So that's
Yeah,
why.
so not like we can say the classic guitar hero soloist like Malmsteen or Vi or this type of thing. You mean more
Yeah,
like the toughest guy in the band that just goes straight with the riff and make noise. can say.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Just before basically going to the end of the interview, just want to know what is the end seeker future project right now. Of course, I want to know about some lives. There is some live
Yes,
planned here and there because it's we are
that's
what we are going to see next year and last year.
well, playing live is our main focus.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because we have barely played live with the last record with the Harvest. I think we played
yeah.
only 12 shows for that record, and that before the pandemic hit us, and we really want to go out and tour with Mount Carcass. So I think we're still having 5 shows in Germany for this year coming up, and we have a bunch of shows already booked for next year, and there's some more in the making, some stuff that is not confirmed, so I cannot talk about it. But I really,
It's
really
okay.
hope. But I really, really hope that those things get worked out, and we hopefully will be able to tour way more next year, and
I
also, if we're lucky, outside of Germany.
I hope to see you some festival then. Or maybe when I will be at Summer Breeze, I'll make a phone call. Can me here, take a beer and have fun at summer because we are there. We are there. So I can this is like home. So for me being there. So I always sneak there and
Yeah, I
just
think
have
we're.
time.
I'm not sure, but I don't think that we're playing Summer Breeze because I think they took the most of the lineup that they were like that they had to reschedule for the last
Yeah.
2 years. So I think
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit
yeah.
yeah. So just what can I say? Just if you want to leave a message to all just people that are looking to now the interview and that they wonder will going to look at the interview because it's going to be recorded. It will stay recorded on YouTube and Facebook as well,
Cool.
and we are also on Twitch, so
All right.
everywhere. So just to
Awesome.
leave a message and just thank you so much, Ben, and sorry again for the delay for being late.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having us.
It was a
It's great.
pleasure.
Thanks for the interest, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk to people. And thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah,
Check out our record, Mount Carcass, and all our other stuff. And if you have the chance, come to one of our shows and make sure that you show up at the merch, and we have a beer together and party on. And
yeah.
yeah.
So
And we
thank you.
really hope to come to Italy one day.
Overly hope contact me
Sure.
when you have to
Yeah.
come here so we
And
can organize something. Contact straight to me
keep
because
the food prepared. We love Italian
yeah,
food.
don't worry, it won't be a problem. We can arrange. Sicilia is good with the food. So
Awesome.
okay, so
Great.
thank you so much, Ben, and see you soon then.
Thank
Bye to
you. Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye. Bye.